element of paddleboard yoga is paddleboarding. We'll start with the paddle. This is the blade, this is the shaft, and this is the T-grip. I have this already extended to my needs. I have a paddleboard that's an inflatable, so it's quite a longer extension. In order to measure this, you can take the blade right next to your feet and reach up for the T-grip. As you can see, there's a long extension here. You probably notice a lot of times on lakes, you'll see people paddling with their blade in the water like so. This is incorrect, because by the time it gets to your feet, you're creating quite a bit of drag. Your blade should be facing forward. Another important piece to paddleboarding is how do you stop? So you're paddleboarding and there's a duck in the way. Woo, I want to stop. This is your break. Another thing to know is that your feet are parallel on the board, and when it gets really wavy and windy, having the paddle in the water makes you a lot more secure. How do you turn? Take the paddle to the hip, and this action here, rainbowing nice and wide, will help you turn. So now we'll talk about the paddleboard itself. The one I'm showing you here is an inflatable paddleboard, and I use it for yoga. It's quite a bit thicker, it catches a lot of wind. I wouldn't recommend this for somebody who wants to go far or go fast or catch a wave, for sure not. This paddleboard really is stable. It's pretty much like a floating dock. This is the nose. We call these rails. And at the back here is the tail. And you'll see that there's quite a big fin. So keep that in mind when you're going over rocks and trees and stumps, that it could catch things on your journey. From the back of the board here, we've attached this leash. This is a coil leash. This is not good for surfing because basically it would bring the surfboard right back into your head. This is good for paddleboarding, however, because if you're like in a race and this is on your foot, obviously, it's not going to trail behind you. So it's not going to create any drag. And then you'll also not have anybody hooking your leash by accident. So this is why we prefer coil leashes on paddleboards rather than the straight leash that you need for surfing. The leash is so important because it's your safety. This is a giant flotation device and that water is really cold. So if you find yourself in a predicament where you've fallen off of your paddleboard, this coil leash will draw the paddleboard right back to you. This is the middle of the board where you see the handle. So this is an inflatable board, so you'll see that the handle pops up. In other boards, it's recessed. Place both feet on either side of the handle. This is the middle of the board. It's the most stable part of the board. Now for paddleboard yoga, we do play with that a lot by keeping our center here, but we do move our legs back and forth to get into some unique poses on the board.
Paddleboard like this in half sail, or place both feet on either side of the hand grip. You can even start to make it into a yoga pose right off the bat by staying low into Utkatasana, beach chair pose, by drawing the shoulder blades away as if you're about to split your paddle. Pulsating here a few times, just getting used to the sensation of the board underneath your feet, that all of a sudden your firm foundation is being challenged right off the bat. This also helps to activate the fast twitch muscles or your stabilizer muscles, work to keep you balanced. Here it's nice to use your paddle as a tool to warm up the shoulders before you do any kind of vigorous paddling. Stretching the shoulders up overhead or even lateral stretching is nice. I'll simply be demonstrating a very simple yoga sequence that you can try this summer on your paddleboard. I think spending out time outdoors is fantastic for emotional health and mental clarity. Taking your practice outside for some fresh air and some vitamin D, and it's a chance to float your boat pose, refreshing your yoga practice and getting your asana off the mat. Surrendering to the ebb and flow of the ocean and letting it rock you gently as the muscles give up their hold in Shavasana. And it's also a way to connect with nature and invigorate all of your senses. Tripod headstand looks a lot harder than it is. On a paddleboard, that's 3 points of contact. And if you kept your legs out wide and low, the center of gravity is a lot less challenging. And I think paddleboard yoga is about play and being playful and not taking yourself so seriously as a yogi. So go ahead and try it. And if you fall off, it's only water. Unless you're Emily and it's February and it's your very first time paddleboarding in Canada. I think the biggest reasons why I love paddleboard yoga is because I can cultivate a sense of deep relaxation here without very much effort at all.